to a bank and asking for money? What's the limits of bank?
You can ask for millions of dollars if you have four things. Let's make sure I remember them all. Character, okay. You've lived in the community a long period of time, people know you, that kind of thing. We're looking to see, you know, if you're a convicted felon, your chances of getting bank money are a little less. If you have good credit, if you come to me and you want to borrow money, I'm going to run a credit report on you and see, do you pay your bills or not? Have you just declared bankruptcy? If you've declared bankruptcy, I'm not going to give you any money for at least 7 years. That doesn't go off your credit report for 7 years. So do you have good credit? Character, credit, collateral, and this is where I find that young people are at a disadvantage. I'm going to want something in return. It's like buying a car. When you go and buy a car, they'll finance your car because if you don't pay, they're going to go back and get the car. But as a banker, I'm not going to use sheep as collateral, although I did once finance a herd of beef. It was all right. It was fine. The guy was an investment banker, and I was more than happy to finance his herd because I used his stock as collateral for that loan. So if his cows had died on the hoof, you know, I was going to cash in his stock. We want you to have something. If you come to a bank for money, they want you to have something. Now, if you have a trust fund, I will certainly entertain that. If you own a seat on the New York Stock Exchange, one of my customers owned 2 seats on the exchange, I will finance that, although it will take me a little while to figure out how much one of the seats on the stock exchange is worth. It's more likely that you'll have a car or that you'll have a home or something like that that you'll use as collateral. And what that means is if you don't pay back the loan, I can go and seize whatever you have pledged. I did have to do a margin call once. I had a customer who worked with a very large insuring company, and his stock was collateral for his letter of credit to them, and the market crashed, and I had to go in and explain to him that the worth of his stock was not equal to what he had to maintain for that loan, and he had to give me more. Actually, I took his personal life insurance, but that's a life of a banker and why I became an academic. Okay, you know. So as bankers, we don't like to finance restaurants. If you're the Brennans, if you're a group that's had long experience in that area, and you can show a track record, I may be willing to talk to you about that. But restaurants tend to be stylish, cyclical. You know, we like Vietnamese food this year, and the next year we like that great paninis. I had paninis for lunch. Great, they're really hot right now. So they're kind of stylish in a way. So that's one thing, and they go under very quickly. The other thing we don't finance is livestock or anything that has to be fed. Because even, well, it's true. If I take back your herd of cattle, I've got to find a place to keep them. I've got to feed them. I mean, you know, it's a while before I sell them. I'm losing money on that deal. So you'll find there are some things that bankers just don't want to do. Okay, we got credit, character, collateral, and I can't remember the other thing. But if I think of it while I'm answering questions, I will.
So basically, you like to invest in capital that doesn't depreciate. That's pretty much what you're. If you're using the investment itself as the collateral.
Yeah. I want something solid that I can take, and typically that I can get rid of quickly. If you pledge stock or bonds against a loan, you sign a power of attorney over to the bank so that if a loan comes due and you don't pay it, I can go ahead and negotiate your securities. Yes?
So what would you suggest for a musical artist who may be just as trendy as a restaurant? Like, I mean, the Grammys were the other day. Let's use Amy Winehouse as an example. You know, her whole boat might sink tomorrow.
Yes.
If she goes back to rehab and actually stays there.
Yes.
So if that whole trend falls through, what would you, like, if she were to come to you and say she wanted another loan or something like that, wanted you to invest before she comes out with another album, what would you say as far as that goes? Because it's not something that, you know, there's no real collateral that you can use that's like finite, concrete.
Okay. As a banker, with her coming to me as an individual, I wouldn't touch her. Okay, I mean, and I'm giving you that answer. I'm no longer a banker. I'm giving you that answer as what I think is typical. On the other hand, you have someone here who really knows his stuff about the music industry. There are lots of places I would assume that Amy Winehouse could go for that. Yeah, I think that's. But as a banker, I'm not going to look at it that way. I will look at a company that she has signed with. You know, I'll have relationships with them, but as an individual, I'd have a problem.